So we're playing a game here. We're doing a campaign called the Road to Glory campaign. And we're doing the first scenario of it. It's kind of a scout thing. And we're both playing 750 points. And then for each progression of the scenario, we'll increase the points by 250. So by the fifth scenario, we should be playing a game with 1750. We're just playing on a little card table right now. So what we did is all measurement is cut down by half. So movement is not 6, it's 3 inches. And so that's pretty much it. I mean, that's easy to, that's self-explanatory. To be within the base, the objectives though, you have to be within 1 inch to be able to claim the objectives. So the first scenario is seize ground with downward deployment, and we're in the first round, and opponent managed to have a choice of deployment and deferred the deployment to me to move first. So I had just HQ, Raider Warriors, and then I moved in from the edge of the board a Ravager and some cats. I have in reserves another Beast squad and another Raider squad. And that is it. So we're at the bottom of turn 1 at the moment. So recap of 2. Walker moved forward. During my turn, I popped off the gun, and troops are moving in. My troops are moving forward, and we're into turn 3 now. So I got roll for reserves for my last squad there, and then we'll go on from there. So we're at the bottom of turn 3, and the dread's been immobilized. The chapter master was removed. The witches moved and then ran up to the ruins. Cats ran up. Those cats ran. And that is it. So we're at the bottom of 3. So during the bottom of 3...
Did they run?
Yeah, I did move them back another... That was the 6 inches. So during the bottom of 3, the HQ got pummeled by a rapid fire and was forced to run. And since they're below 50% strength, there's no regrouping available for the Dark Eldars. Cats have moved and ran an inch. All three vehicles with a total of 5 shots fired at the Terminators, and all saves were made. And that is it for the top of 4. We're at the bottom of 4. So we got to the turn 5, and then we rolled a 1, so we didn't get to turn 6. But what happened during turn 5 is basically not a whole lot. I shot several shots at the Terminators. The Ravager missed all 3. This Raider here got a shot at the Terminators and scored a wound, and that was the one wound that managed to pop a Terminator with the Storm Shield.
Yeah.
And as far as for the objectives, I got troops on the base there, troops on the base there, and then he had 1 troop on that base there. So that is part 1 of 5. Our next game will be 1,000 points, and we'll determine who is the attacker and who will be the defender for the rest of the campaign. Thanks for watching. So we're playing the second scenario for the campaign, and we're doing capture and control, playing pitch table, and the Raven Guard, they are moving in. So far what has happened for the top of round 1, the Dreadnought landed with the drop pod and then shot at the Ravager and removed one of the guns. And that is it. So it was pretty uneventful for the bottom of turn 1. I turned my vehicle so I could shoot at the dread. I hit, but no glancing or penetration hits. Then I just moved everything else out a little bit and flat out those vehicles there. So we got another trot pod coming in, and we'll go from there. It's the top of 2. So bottom 2, my other reserve unit, the Warriors came in. Vehicle went flat out. These moved 12. The witches bailed out, shot and assaulted. These 2 raiders shot at the HQ. Both hit, both caused wounds, but the invulnerable save was made. My beast pack that was over here moved, ran, and then assaulted that unit. One cat was 2 inches too far. One cat was too far away, and so I had a 7. Had a lot of attacks, and I had 11 wounds, and out of 11 hits, sorry, I only had 4 wounds, and then the Marines responded back and wiped out the entire unit. We still have yet to do the assault for the witches over here, but so we'll find out what the results are for the witch combat, and then we'll go on from there. So we finished the assault phase with the witches, and both of us having a heck of a lot of swings at each other. Still managed only to cause 2 wounds to each, and so we're still locked in combat. So we are into turn 4. My warriors got shot up pretty bad and they ran off the table. The witches managed to actually win the combat by 1 wound, but the leadership test was made by the Marines, so we're still locked in combat. And this vehicle here went flat out, and that doesn't look too good. So we're at the top of 4. So we are at the top of round 5. I lost the HQ over here by my base. What? My witches won the combat, loaded up into the vehicle, and then went flat out over there. The vehicle moved over and tried to take a shot at the dread, hit it, but did not penetrate it. And then this vehicle here has a bunch of warriors inside of it. So we ended it on turn 5. My opponent is contesting my base, but he's got no troops on it. And I have troops over at his HQ. So now for the remaining of the game, I will be the attacker and he will be the defender on the maps. So the first game that we played, if you recalled, we played on that small little table. We did 751. He won that one by victory points because we drawed on the objectives. So that will play into the 5th game, he having won that scenario, the scout scenario. So our next game will have 1250 for points, and see you then. So we're doing our 3rd installment for Road to Glory's campaign, and we got the terrain set up, and I had the choice of who got to go first, but it really didn't state whether or not if he couldn't try to steal the initiative, so we allowed it, and so the Raven Guard are able to go first. And we're just starting turn 1. This is my deployment right now. 1 HQ with a Grotesque, a Talus, Ravager, 2 Raiders. I have Mandrakes in the list. They're in their hidden deployment. I also have a Decapitator out in the hidden deployment. The Decapitator is the 2nd HQ. I have Scourges. They are in reserves. Will be deep striking. These are just guys inside the Raiders. That raider there is in reserves and will be coming in from table edge. And those are just the mandrakes in hidden deployment. So turn 1, and it's turn 1 top for the Raven Guard. Wasn't planning on that. So we're into our turn 2 already, and what happened? Drop pod came down, shot at one of the raiders, but did not glance it. I moved the grotesques around, moved vehicles this way, and with the raider over here. Raider shot and exploded the drop pod, and it took out a few units. This Ravager here with the disruptor shot the pie plate, and the blast plate missed. It drifted. The Scourge unit inside shot and got a hit. This one here I shot the 3 version of the disruptor, and that took out a couple guys. No, took out 1 guy, and the splinter cannon on there took out 1 additional guy. So we're in the top of 2 right now. So we are at the top of 3 for the Raven Guard. During my turn, my Decapitator appeared and then assaulted the units, took out 2 troops, and then received a wound in return. Grotesque and HQ are moving forward. The Raider moved and then shot at the Dread, immobilizing it. Then this troop here shot at the troops there, failed to do anything. This Raider came in, shot a plate at the troops, and then took them out. This one here shot a plate at the Terminators. It drifted, hit 1, but the Terminator made his 5+ invulnerable save. Scourges came in and deep striked from this point, and then drifted over here. Fired at the troops, and out of 28 shots, scored 4 wounds, and 3 of the 4 were saved. And so that is it. Back in a few.